Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Colleen, Conscious Wellbeing Yoga. So yesterday was my birthday, and I want to share with you the practice that I did yesterday. Okay, so let's get down on the floor. Grab all your blocks and whatever else you need to make your practice comfortable. It's kind of an all levels class, might be a little bit more intermediate. Advanced in some areas, but you can always modify. Okay, just come along for the ride. Let's hands and knees, and we're going to extend the right leg out to the side. Take a few cat cows in this position, going for less mobility through the spine and trying for more mobility through the hip joint and the groin. Especially on the right side, you feel it a little bit more. So we're drawing the chest through the gate of the upper arms as you inhale into the lift and exhale. And drop the gaze, drop the tailbone, and hug the navel in and up. Let's do one more like that. Nice big inhale. And exhale. Good, going for a little core strengthening. Left arm out to the side, lift the right leg up. So we're reaching out into these horizontal lines, supporting through the core in the tone of the abdomen, working the front and all four sides of the abdomen against the spine. Good, really bracing the length of your spine muscularly. Try to relax into it, a little bit less effort if you can. 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Good. We're going to inhale into a twist. Exhale, reach and tap towards your right foot. And again, reach and tap. Reach and tap. And this time, settle into it. Lower the shoulder, lower the ear, the temple. Walk the right hand out. And roll around a little, opening up through the fibers of the muscles on the shoulder and the upper back, maybe. Press into the right hand and we'll lift right back up into the twist. And then lift up. Let's go into a side bend towards the extended leg. Lifting up, reaching for the back heel if you can. You don't have to. You can land your hand on a block or just have it supporting the low back in any way. And reach to the side and also a little bit of a lift up through the back of the heart. Really extend through the right leg a lot, anchoring into the outer right foot. Then go back into the side bend. Inhale it. Exhale. And again, inhaling. Taking any version of that half camel that really serves you today. Exhaling, maybe reaching out from behind the heart, behind the collarbones. Opening through the belly, the navel. Letting the lungs and the heart muscle feel this back bend. Good, and then come up. Bring the hands down. Let's bring the hips back to the heels. Take child's pose. Get into the back knees. Exhale fully. Inhale. Draw the upper arm bones really close to the side body as you lower the chest down. Maybe the chin comes down. Keep the hips lifted. You're on your knees and the toes can be tucked here. And just lift the chin and extend through the throat. Lowering back with the chin. Take another inhale. Support the low back with the tone in the lower belly. Point the toes and let's come through into a cobra, lengthening as you lift. Go more for length than lift. And exhale, lengthen as you lower. And press into the hands and draw the hips back to the heels. Wiggle around the hips a little bit, create a little space in the hip capsule. Come forward. Extend the left leg. Inhale. Cat-cows here. Exhale, draw the belly in and up. Push with the palms to lift and broaden the upper back. 2 more times. Inhale. Really feeling it a little bit more in that left hip. One more. Grip with the fingertips. Activate there. Pulling the chest through. Exhale, round and lift the upper back. Good. Walk the left hand a little bit forward and maybe towards the right and reach the right arm. Take your twist away from the extended leg and exhale. Reach and tap towards your left foot. Let's do it again. Exhale and tap. Exhale, it's time to stay, lowering down. And rock and roll, whatever feels good. Static hold. Just kind of roll the upper arm, back of my tricep. A little bit of the delt. Come up, go back into the twist. Good, walk the hands back and stand up on your right knee now. Let's do the side bend over to the left. And go into that half camel. And on the first side. Good, and squeeze the back body to open the front body. And again, side. Opening, ventilating the right side, rib cage. And we'll go back. Lift from behind the heart, lift from behind the collarbones. Powerful press in both of your legs. Side bend. And one more time. And go for a fuller lift out, lengthening up through the eye of your heart. Lifting the whole back of your spine out from your hips and your legs. And then come up. Put the feet together. And we'll come into a downward facing dog. Bringing up, just like kind of wagging the hips side to side a little bit. I like to turn the toes to face the opposite of where the hips are going. Just feeling the weight of the hips and the legs. Good. And then really lift the heels nice and high and bend the knees to press the hips back. Keep the heels lifted. A nice down dog if you can. But let the base of the neck feel really long. Feel light through the head as you lengthen back through the heels. Opening up the shoulder a little bit, let's just pulse. Pulse the chest back towards the legs, even towards the floor, at the top of the head. The shoulder tight, the shoulders might be for you today. Just working through whatever you have. It's all good. Good. And then hug your front ribs in, round your upper back to come out into a plank pose. And hold plank nice and steady through the gaze. Deep and breathing. Bring that ujjayi breath. Light resistance in the back of the throat. Helps to bring stability into the spine by keeping the layers of the core really active throughout. So it brings a beautiful rhythm to your practice. Go long, lower down onto the knees. And again, bring the chest. Drop onto the chin. And flop the knees in a little bit so you bring the hips up a little higher. Stay here. Again, lift and lengthen out through the throat. Lower back down. Stay here for one more breath. And point through the toes. Go long through the chest to lift. Soften the shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Slide the hands back. Maybe work into an upward facing dog. Pushing down with the palms to lift the center of the chest up. Good. Tone through the lower belly. Good. Work the quads. Everything that's facing the ground lifts to support the back body. And press the hips up and back down. Or let go of your neck. Pulses through your shoulders. Good, and hug up the ribs, the belly, and come forward into plank and hold plank again. Breath in and out. Finding this quality of equanimity. This way of being unshakable in life's challenges. We can need it on our mat. We can need it in our day-to-day life. Those moments of agitation, frustration. We need that straight through. The softness. With a sense of curiosity. Good, go long, lower down the knees, and just take the hips back to the heels and walk the arms alongside of you. Take the head down, big breath, just relax the shoulders, let them slide off your back. Breathe into the back of your waist, the back of your bones. Deflate, deflate. And walk forward, lift the hips. We're going to take a step forward with the right foot. You can help it forward with your hands if you like. Lower down the back knee. Drive the hands into one big strong fist and rise the arms up. Keep the arms really nice and crisp. Pull up and squeeze the side of the head to get longer through the spine. Keep that tone in your lower belly. And exhale, soften and melt the hips. Inhale, lift, pull up through the fists. The back of the lungs lift up. Let the heart muscle lift. The belly lift. Let the organs shift underneath. Good, and then exhale, fist forward and angle back through the hips. Doing our jackknife pose here, or half split down into the forward foot, the forward heel bone, and reach long through the fist. Drive the chest forward and lengthen out. Good, and then step into the right foot. Stay low as we turn towards the side of the mat. Go into side Garudasana towards the back. Pelvic floor. Come forward, stay low. Lower back down on the back knee, going back into the lunge. This time you're positioning the hands so the fists go back. Sliding the knuckles down to lift the heart forward and up. Like a kick from the back of the heart. Go forward and up. Feel that beautiful lift. Let the gaze float back if it feels good. Good. And then drawing, keeping the hands if you can, drawing the feet a little closer in together. Straightening the legs to fold into pyramid pose. With the feet Really stable, legs are really pulling together. And then step the feet together, keep the fists behind. Inhale, pull the chest through, sink the hips down. And then exhale, lower down and start to straighten the right leg, bend deeply into the left knee. Let the chest, ribs turn towards the right. And feeling that deep stretch in the outer right leg. Okay. Now let's go to the opposite side now. Bend deeply into the right knee and turn towards the left. That same stretch, the left side. So reach the arms forward, lower down. Take both pose here. So any version of both that you want to test yourself with. And then come forward, step into your feet, reach forward, stay really low. And the knees come together. Lower the knees down, open up the feet. Good. Reach the arms above you. Interlace the hands and bring them to hold the base of your skull. Good. Kind of lean back. We're going to sit the heels down and come into a chair pose, holding the base of our skull. Good. Pulling out, so lengthening through the back of the neck, lowering the seat down. Feeling the heels get heavier. And then rise up. Pull forward through the elbows. Lift the elbow tips up and lean the head back. The weight of the head into the hold of the hands. Open out through the front of the hips. Good. And then bend the knees. And bring the elbow tips towards the lower legs or the knees. Take an inhale and hug the belly in and up to the spine as you exhale. Get really compact into this tuck. And then release the hands. Step the left foot back and the right foot, find your plank. Inhale. And exhale, take it back into our dog pose. Lift the ribs up, belly, round through the back to come forward into your plank. And then do the reverse of that, then bend into the knees. Lift the tailbone. Good, lift the hips and drop through the head. Big breath here. Exhale. Left leg steps forward or help it forward, lower down on the back. Opposite interlace if you can. Pull up and sink down. Keep lifting as much as you're lowering. Keep effort balanced with effortlessness. And then reach the palms forward, right through the knuckles, and hinge back. You can untuck or tuck the back toes as you need. Keep the heart reaching long. Good. Stay low to turn out. Side Shavasana. Keep the pelvic floor lifting and activating. It's a conduit to the core. It's actually the floor of the whole core musculature and the base. And let's go. Turn towards the front. Lower back down. Bring the hands back around. Same interlace. Pull with the fists and pull from the back of the heart in the opposite direction. Fist down, heart up and forward. Really getting longer through the spine, keeping the spine, the energy of the spine evenly balanced. So we're not jamming into the lower part of the spine, the low back, lifting out of it. Lifting up, supporting with the tone of the lower belly. Take it into our pyramid pose. Go long, keep your feet active. Step the feet together. Inhale, pull the chest through. Exhale, take a fold. And deeply into the right knee, turn to the left. Let go of your head. Inhale to the opposite side. Good, release, let the hands come forward. Float pose here. Keep the collarbones really nice and broad. Step into the feet and reach. Drop the knees down, lift up. Hands behind the head to hold as we come back to our chair pose, chair squat. Bring the weight back into the heels. Feel the engagement of the whole lower body and the core and the abdominals. Good, lift. And then press up to standing. Lift up, let the head fall back. Good, open out. Press the hips forward, squeeze the glutes. Lift up. And crunch into yourself. Scoop the belly up. And release the hands down. Good, step the right foot back, left foot back. And hips up and back, downward facing dog. Bringing a little heat in. Right foot steps forward. Up, switch the feet as you exhale. Come up into high lunge. Big breath in. Back knee can be bent. Bring a little bit more ease into the low back if you need that. Otherwise, really kick out through the heel. And then lower down, open out, warrior two. Stay low, get really broad with the hips. Broad through the chest. Create the circuitry out through the fingertips. Stay low, reach back. Good, flip up with the back heel. Press down with the right hand and take a simple twist to the left. Look down, create a little more length in the neck. Now reach long with the left arm. We're going to go into part of Chandrasana. So you have to reach forward and to the side of the front foot on the left side, so that when the shoulders come forward, they're going to be placed over your left wrist. Stack the hips. Good. Work that standing leg and work the upper leg as well, as if you're pressing against an imaginary wall. So the legs get super firm and super strong, that maybe you don't need the hold of your left fingertips or on your block or whatever. Breathe in and out comfortably with ease. Let's reach into a standing split now. So working the right leg, lift from the right inner thigh and squeeze up. Right strongly through the toes, push down to the left leg. Good, and then we're going to hug the right knee in, take a hold of your big toe, and scoot back through a pistol squat. Lower. Good, and then maybe hold both toes. You don't have to, you can keep both pretty easy here. I'm just going to demonstrate. So we'll just roll back. And come up. Roll back. And one more time. Let's try it. Pull the shoulders back into the sockets. Wind those collarbones. Press out through the feet. Activate your outer glutes. Beautiful. Let's step down. Reach forward, come into standing forward fold. Breathing in and out. Lengthening the top of the head down as much as you're lengthening up to the tip of your tailbone. Engaging those quads. Lifting those kneecaps. Press into the palms. We're going to step the left foot back and the right foot back. Hips up and back right away. Take a breath in and out. Left foot steps forward. Hop, switch your feet. Rise up, high lunge. Stay active in the legs. Squeeze back through that right hip. And then open out. Warrior two. Really feel wide and lower. Good, reach back. Turn and twist. Part of Chandrasana. Nice, slow, easy transition up. Use two hands if you need it. Turn and stack that top hip. Press back to that imaginary wall. Hold this pose just for the legs, through the core, muscularly supporting the spine and the vertebrae. And transitioning into our lift into standing split. Walking yourself towards the right leg. Lowering down, kicking out, find your pistol. And then lifting both legs. So again, it could be bent knees, it could be straight, doesn't matter. Pulling the chest up, keeping the collarbones nice and broad. Maybe take a roll back. Maybe a couple rollbacks. And then come up and forward into your forward fold. Take a moment. Shift and shuffle around. Creating a little bit more space in the hip capsule. Holding forward. Take a little ease, working into Garudasana. Bringing the weight a little bit more forward. Make sure that the thumbs are facing each other in the middle. Good. And then to kind of turn this up a little bit, this wrist stretch up a little bit, you bend the elbow tips and in the elbow tips towards your shins. That's a lot of a stretch right there. Good, undo that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's step back. Find your plank. Take it through vinyasa, however you like. You can always lower down the knees and take it into a cat-cow. You don't always have to be heavy duty. Vary it up a little bit. It's much better for the body. All right, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. We're going to activate into the same strategy that we used for gate pose with activating the core. So right leg out to the side, lifting it up. Keep the shoulders semi-balanced here. Just feel it with these three anchors. And then work into just the two anchors. Right hand and left leg. Super strong. So really find strength there. And let the left arm come out to the side. Hold it here. Squeeze up. So again, try to filter some effortlessness in with the effort. Notice sensations, but you don't have to work into the thoughts about the sensations. That can sometimes be overwhelming and can take over and misinterpret sensations for something other than what's really happening. Good. Lower down the left hand and then skate your right leg over to the left, finding fallen triangle, leaning into the right palm. Use the right shoulder blade, connect it onto the back to help lift and support the chest, the upper body. Good, maybe taking the head and just leaning back a little bit. Really activate those legs. Opening up the chest as much as feels good. And then just bend deeply into the knee and back and bend and straighten. And maybe slide it out to create a little bit more distance between the front and the back leg. Good. And then scoot it back. Angle it up into a down dog split. And open, dangle. Maybe find wild thing. Really use the legs to lift the hips, especially the left hip. A squeeze from behind. And then step the right foot into a pigeon prep. So onto the back knee to begin. And we'll keep a nice high lift. So blocks are really nice for this one. Just lift the back knee, extend through the back heel, and push down into the right outer leg to find that lift, lifting from the pelvic floor base. Soften the back knee down. Good. And then just lean forward, just a little prep of pigeon. And step the right foot back into plank. And then let the toes go to the left, heels go to the right. And we keep the upper body turned in plank pose. So the twist is only happening with the lower body. I'm going to take another breath. And lift the hips and fold back into our downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out through the nose. Lifting that tailbone higher. Scooping, staying active in the low belly. Really just always maintaining that support. Landing a little bit more weight back into the heels. Then we'll go to the other side. So now we're going to lift the left leg out to the side. You're going to press evenly through the palms. Shoulders trying to stay even. It's a little hard. And then reach the right arm out. Good. Keep the weight pulling back. Breathing in. Effortlessness. As much as effort. Good. Find the softness where you can get it. Right hand down and scoop the left leg now over to the right. Lower the feet to the floor. Lift the hips, squeeze up. And then lower the right hand down, just bend deeply into the knee. Keep the back leg really strong, charged up. And then straighten it out and maybe slide the leg a little further away. So you create a little bit more distance between the front and the back foot. Good. Really pull up, use the back body to lift and support the front body. Good, lower down, let's skate it back. Lift the leg up and back. Down dog split. And then open the hip dangle. Really work across the hip now. Maybe land on the left toes. Turn slightly, pivoting slightly in the right foot. And squeeze up with the back body, all the back musculature. Let the head just hang out of the neck and the shoulders. Turn yourself back around and we'll take left leg now into our pigeon prep. On the back knee to start, keeping the back toes tucked and lifting the chest up and lifting the back knee up, working into the front of the back thigh, activating that quad, lengthening down, getting that nice, good stretch. Good, let the center eye of the heart float up and forward. And press into the palms. Step back to plank. Turn the toes to the right, heels to the left, but keep the upper body engaged in your straight facing plank. Feel the twist in the lower body. Feel almost like the right side ribs turn slightly even to the left. Good, lift up and back down, dog. And take a nice hot breath in through the nose. Let it go. Just kind of rebooting the system. Good, walk up to the hands. Inhale a halfway lift. And exhale, fold long over your legs. Go long to the chest, to the upper back, to the mid back, to the low back. Anchoring the tailbone upward. The crown of the head towards the feet. Rise up with a long spine, hinging up to stand. Palms gather at the heart as you exhale. Let's take a moment here to reset, refresh with the breath. Stabilize into your Ujjayi sound. And filtering that exhale through the body. Letting it release anything that needs to go. Letting it move, scour away stagnant tension. Letting go of the muscles in the legs a little bit now. Just letting your spine be stacked over your hips that are stacked over your legs and feet. Go taller out to the crown of your head. And inhale and rise up. Exhale, take it into a forward fold. Good, rise up halfway, lengthen out. Lift and use the belly to maintain that support through the spine. Soften the shoulders. Keep the legs active as you take it back through plank. Taking it into full side plank now. Working the feet in any way that feels good. Both sides. Try to work the standing shoulder. Take it down nice and low. Coming into a cobra. Or if you prefer, your up dog. Really lifting those quads. Tone in the lower belly. Lifting to support the curve of the low back. Where are your shoulder blades? Down the back, supporting the lift and the wideness of the heart. Good. Lift the hips up and hinge back to your downward facing dog. Take a moment, set it up, big breath in. Exhale, easy breath out. You can always come down on your knees to step your right foot forward now. Revisiting. Inhale, pull with the fists. Lifting up. Exhale, release. Good. Big breath up and back. Good. This time, let's take the hands, reposition them behind. Bend the back leg. So if you can just kind of let your foot be caught between the loop of your fists, of your interlaced hands, and then kick the leg back. So if you don't get this, you can always use a strap or the length of any kind of cloth or band. But you can also just kick the heel in towards your glute and just really activate your hamstring. So kick the leg back through the toes to kick the back of the heart forward and up. Squeeze your left glute. Lift a little higher to the eye of your heart. Good. Then exhale. Keep a hold if you can. And start to bring the head down, dropping through the inside of that right leg towards the floor. A little bit more of a stretch in front of the back thigh. And then lifting back up again. Working towards mermaid pose or king pigeon, one-legged, obviously, king pigeon. So just working the heel towards the body. Come out of it, back off of it a little bit, and sink down again. And maybe find the crook of that elbow. To reach around the head with the right arm. Kick back again with the left foot. Maybe turn the chest more forward. Squeeze it. If you have your flip grip, you can do that as well. Make it nice and slow. Good. And then come forward, press into your palms. And step back right away into down dog. Good, wiggle out the hips a little bit. So I just feel that support of symmetry through the body. Go the base of your skull. And we'll go and step the left foot forward. Again, be down on your knees and do that as well. Fists to draw up. The back of your lungs are reaching up. The back of your ribcage, lifting towards your fist, towards your knuckles as you sink the hips down. Working back and forth. Take up, melting down. Visualizing all of this at a deeper level, the organ level. And the intestines lift. Feel not only the musculature and the connective tissue, but the heart muscle lifting and the back of the lungs lifting. Then reposition the hands behind. Same fist to pull down the back leg. Kick the heart forward and up. Bend the back knees, scoop with the loop that you've created and kick the foot back. Eye and the heart lifting forward and up. Squeeze that right glute. Good, and point the back toes as you come forward, taking a little bow. Relaxing a little bit more, opening up and getting a little bit more of a stretch in the front of the right thigh. And coming back up, it's taking the heel now, aiming it more towards the glute. Getting a little bit more lifted through the chest, back out if you need to. And scooping with the crook of the elbow to connect the hands. Turning the chest if that's possible. And then visiting your full king pigeon if you like. I'm gonna skip this side. It's hard to talk in that pose. And then undo the leg very carefully. So with a little bit of control so it doesn't slingshot its way back. Good, so inhale and exhale, let's press into the palms. Get the left foot back. And we'll find our downward facing dog for a moment. Breathing in and out. Comfortably relax the head. And we'll follow through with split pose, so you can always make this a half split. Coming down on the back knee and just working the knee back. So have the right toes tucked with the right knee. Extend back. The whole while the front leg is bent. Keep the spine lifted. This is also a great place to have two blocks to support. And full splits are part of your practice. Just invite yourself into it. You want to suck the left thigh bone back into the hip socket. Into that concavity of the hip capsule so that the leg is really well supported deep into the hip. And then you lengthen through the musculature, the back of the forward leg and the front of the back leg. And keeping the spine nice and lifted. So gravity acts as a little bit more of a force. Allow yourself to come out very slowly. Take a moment. And we'll go on the other side. Like I said, blocks are really great for working yourself down into this split, the bend of the forward leg. And just working the left knee back. Increments at a time. Remembering that the legs and the hips can be very asymmetrical. A little bit of acceptance there. Really scoot the right thigh bone back into the hip socket. So you create that vacuum, that nice support. Get a little longer through the musculature, a little bit more lengthened. Lift the chest up. Work the legs apart. Nice and easy does it. Slowly come out of this. Let's sit down, take a moment. Inhale. So we did some pretty deep back bends there in our lunge position. So instead of going right into a twist, when we've really extended that much through the column of the spine, I prefer to do more of a counterboat pose or an in-between pose or bracket within the sequence with some really nice supporting planks, or we can be on our forearms or your hands, whatever feels better for you. So just a nice support through the abdominal wall to brace against the spine. Just kind of find that stability again. So I'm going to come onto my forearms. You can stay on your hands, and you can also be on your knees for a little bit less intensity, but there's still a lot of support happening. Don't start with forearm plank. Good, staying long and lifted. And you can decide if you want to go into an inversion here and walk my feet up towards my elbows. Maybe taking little light hops. And settle into it. Quieting the ribs. Quieting the chest. Quieting down the diaphragm, which is really our direct connection into your nervous system. So the quieter that we can be in our upper chest, our shoulders, and our neck, the smoother we'll feel, the more even our moods, more stable our moods. And so we'll come up and we'll end in a standing balance. We'll try Marichyasana balance. So standing on the right leg, we're going to draw the left knee in. Left arm lifts up and reaches out to the inside to create that bind if you can. Pull up, lengthen up. Push down, get the standing leg, flare the toes. Get as much real estate out of that foot as possible. And then start to lower down. So there could be a micro bend in the right knee. Scoop the belly and bring the head towards the leg. Keep the belly super active, keep the legs super active. And then let go. Drop the knee to the outside of the right foot. Come into seated twist. Walk the right hands behind. Turn the gaze over the right shoulder. Good. Let the neck be really nice and long. Create a circuit from your outer right eye to the tip of your left collarbone near your left shoulder. You can take this a little deeper. And coming into a bind. One more breath wherever you are. And exhale, slowly come forward, first with the gaze, and then release the arms. Keep the legs as they are. We're just going to shuttle the right foot a little bit further out to the left, stacking the knees. Draw your left hip up, take it out to the left, and slide back towards the middle. Keep doing that as much as you need to feel like you're planted evenly on your sit bones. Your right arm is on top. We're going to do Garudasana arms, eagle arms here. Lift up. Exhale and come forward. You're going to feel a different positioning in the right hip with the right thigh bone now. Scoop the belly in and up towards the rib cage. Give yourself a little bit more room to maneuver over the legs in this forward fold. The heels can be really far out to the side if you're a little bit more open. But of course, adjust the heels in further and closer if you need to. Start to lift out of this with the gaze and then follow through. stand up, and we'll go to the opposite side now. Standing on the left leg, lift the right knee up. You're gonna really get a firm press in the left foot, left outer glutes and hips, really firming and creating that stability. And then hold, create that bind and push down to lift up. Those toes barking again. Good, and then scoot the belly as you start to come forward, folding into your standing leg. Trust the ground to hold you. And then just softly release the knee down outside of the foot and the toes. Okay, Teddy, we hear you. Walk the left fingertips around. Follow the gaze. So gaze out over your left shoulder. And of course, if that's not good for your neck, you can turn. Just stare straight ahead or turn to the right. And create that line of energy from the outer left eye, the corner of your left eye, to the tip of your right collarbone where it meets the shoulder. Go for your bind. You did that on the opposite side. And really squeezing and feel the whole digestive tract going into this twist. Really feeling a kind of replenishment or refreshment of your digestive organs. Kind of bringing everything out. Good, and then come forward. And just guide yourself into Gomukhasana legs, cow face legs. Feeling that different positioning of the thigh in the hip socket. Working the heels out or further in, whatever suits your needs today. And left arm under, right arm on top. Inhale to lift into the elbow points. Pick up your chest. Exhale, scoop the belly up into your rib cage as you come forward. You need a little bit more space to come over your legs. Along with your gaze to come out, follow through. Move the trunk in your arms, release. And take the legs, shift them out. So we'll open up the legs. You can go into a wide forward fold. You can tighten it up and go into Kurmasana. It feels good. Again, activate your quads, your kneecaps, and activate your outer glutes, your outer hips. Come forward to hinge forward. Scoop the belly in and up towards the ribs. Create a little bit more range, feet sideways. Maybe the chin comes down, maybe the chest will come down. No need to force anything. This is a practice. A practice is also rides the waves of change. We don't ever do the same practice. We don't ever do the same pose in the same way as we did it before. So invite yourself into that river of change that we're flowing down anyway. So we might as well float down and not resist the whole way. Good. Find stability where you can get it, but don't resist the flow. And slowly come out of that forward fold, wherever you like. Find your way into the seated pose, maybe for some reflection or a short meditation if that's part of your practice. And then invite yourself into Shavasana, or you go right into Shavasana and have your reflection and sense of self that way, where you really fully feel it rest and you soften into that rest. Is any way that you can find that you can let go of resistance and really pave the road for change, because suffering that comes with change is optional. Change is inevitable. So when we make friends with that amount of change that we have day to day, year to year, we see it all around us. So invite it in as well. You are supported from deep within and from every object around you. Everything in our internal and external environment supports that which is really and truly us. Let's take a breath in together. Invite something new, something fresh, and exhale. Let go of something old, something that needs to be gone, to leave us, to pave the way for something else to come in. Let go of an outdated idea. Just one. Okay, so with that, I thank you, and please join me again. Thank you so much, and namaste.